Welcome to the call, all millionaires. Welcome to the call. My name is Amma Nancy, and I'm your host this evening. Thank you all so very much for calling in, and I'd like to welcome each and every one of you to this self-esteem development training call, Obsessed with Success. If this is your first time calling in, just to let you know, we do have these calls each and every Wednesday, and they are always filled with strategies and tips on self-esteem development, entrepreneurship, as well as secrets of the super wealthy. Now, I've been listening to these calls for over a year now, and they have honestly changed my life. I have the honor and the privilege to introduce Mr. Haziq Ali. Mr. Ali has a talent for bringing out the best in people and seeing gifts in them that they do not see in themselves. He helps people for a living, but he would totally do it for free. He's been an entrepreneur his entire life. We actually like to call him an entrepreneurologist. Mr. Ali is an author, a self-esteem development coach, my personal mentor and coach. And now coming right up is Mr. Haziq Ali. Are you on the line, sir?
Yes, I am, Miss Nancy, and thank you for everything you do for us. It's wonderful. I feel so inspired when I have teammates and friends like you because it's proof that, like, I must be doing something right. I love all of you guys for being here, and let's begin. As you guys know, I'm all about rewarding you for being here on time. Never fails at 5:15. There's like 50, 60, 70 of us. By the end of the call, there's like 300 of us. So why people are so late, I don't know, but you guys are about to get rewarded. So what I want you guys to realize is that it's all about stretching your comfort zone. You want to kind of jot that down. Let's stretch our comfort zone. One technique to do this is called affirmation. I don't know how many of you guys are on the affirmation calls. We do 7 days a week, 7:30 a.m. during the week, 9 a.m. on the weekend. But the whole value of affirmations is that they stretch your comfort zone. They bombard your subconscious with new thoughts and images, bigger bank accounts, trim, healthy bodies, exciting work, interesting friends, memorable vacations. You got to see all your goals as complete. And an affirmation is a statement that describes the goal in its already completed state, such as, I'm enjoying watching the sunset from my beautiful beachfront condo, right, out on the coast of Maui, or I'm celebrating feeling light and alive at my perfect body weight, of 165 or whatever yours is. But what I wanted to do, since you guys are on time, before we even get into the vision boards, and while some of you are text messaging your friends and family and getting them on the call, because I know you're doing that, because you deserve to be rich because you add value to other people's lives, right? I wanted to give you 9 guidelines for creating effective affirmations. 9 guidelines for creating effective affirmations. I don't know what it is, but social media has turned the masses into a bunch of underqualified gurus. It is like the blind leading the blind out there. And, I mean, it takes everything in me to not kind of like correct people, because you don't want to come off like that guy, right? But it's just the point, like, my God, you're almost there. And there's nothing more dangerous than just a little bit of knowledge. So I wanted to give you 9 guidelines that's given to me from one of my mentors about how to create effective affirmations. To be effective, you should construct your affirmations using the following 9 guidelines. This is just a bonus. We're not even on vision boards yet, but I felt like this was a proper introduction to it, because in the morning when we're saying our affirmations, I'm staring at my vision board. If you've already subscribed to Periscope, and you're about to see that in a minute, my Periscope is at Haziq, or you can go to Haziq Ali, which is my Instagram, and then you'll see my Periscope address right there. But you want to be registering for that right now while we're kind of just going over this stuff. If you're on Dear Millionaire, then I'll send out the replay anyway. So don't worry about if you can't take every single note. Some of you are driving anyway. So hopefully you're not taking notes while you're driving. But here we go. Number 1, start with the words I am. The words I am are the 2 most powerful words in our language. The subconscious takes any sentence that starts with the words I am and interprets it as a command, a directive to make it happen. Number 2, use the present tense. Describe what you want as though it's already done. It's already accomplished. You already have it. In other words, the wrong way to say it is, I'm going to get a new red Porsche 911. It's not how you say it. The right way to say it is, I am enjoying driving my new red Porsche 911. Number 3, state it in a positive. Affirm what you want, not what you don't want. State your affirmations in the positive. The unconscious does not understand the word no. This means that the statement, don't slam the door, is heard as slam the door. As a matter of fact, little kids hear it the same way. If you've ever, because like we told you, little kids are always in alpha state. They're always in alpha or gamma state. This is the way they think. So they naturally process language mostly through their subconscious mind. Try it one day. You know, tell a child, you know, don't curse, and see how well that works. All right? The unconscious thinks in pictures. The whole thing is that a picture is worth 1,000 words, isn't it? If I say feather, you're not picturing F-E-A-T-H-E-R. No, you're picturing a feather. That's because the subconscious thinks in pictures. And the words, you know, soft feathers or don't slam the door, it just evokes a picture of the feathers or of a slamming door. The phrase, I'm no longer afraid of flying, evokes an image of being afraid of flying. But if you say, I'm enjoying the thrill of flying, it evokes an image of enjoyment. So wrong, I am no longer afraid of flying. Correct, I am enjoying the thrill of flying. All right, enough about that one. Number 4, keep it brief. Think of your affirmation as an advertising jingle. Act as if each word costs $1,000. It needs to be short enough and memorable enough to be easily remembered. Enough said. Number 5, make it specific. Vague affirmations produce vague results. Vague affirmations produce vague results. What's an example? I am driving my new red car. That would be incorrect. I am driving my new red Porsche 911. There you go. Number 6, include an action word ending with ing. The active verb adds power to the effect by evoking an image of doing it right now. So, I express myself openly and honestly. That's one way. But another way is I am confidently expressing myself openly and honestly. I am confidently expressing myself openly and honestly. Now, all affirmations don't have to end with ing, but it is good to have an action word. It's good to have a verb involved because verbs connotate action. It adds power to it. Number 7, include at least one dynamic emotion or feeling word. Include the emotional state that you'd be feeling if you'd already achieved the goal. Some commonly used words are enjoying, joyfully, happily, celebrating, proudly, calmly, peacefully, delighted, enthusiastic, lovingly, triumphant, happy, grateful. Wrong. I am maintaining my perfect body weight of 178 pounds. Right. I am feeling agile and great at 178. Note that last one has a ring of like a jingle. The subconscious loves rhythm and tones. This is why songs are so powerful. This is why you got to make sure you're listening to the right kinds of songs, because you're programming yourself. That's why we're able to more easily remember things like sticks and stones will break my bones, but words will never hurt, stuff like that, right? And I before E except after C. Number 8, make affirmations for yourself, not others. So when you're constructing your affirmations, make them describe your behavior, not the behavior of other people. Wrong. I'm watching my girlfriend do the dishes. Right. I am effectively communicating my needs and desires to my girlfriend. Whole different point. Number 9, add for something better. This is one that I don't personally use a lot, but this is one of the ones that my mentor gave me. When you're affirming getting a specific situation, a job, opportunity, vacation, a material object like a house, a car, a yacht, or maybe a relationship, always add the words or something better or someone better. Sometimes our criteria for what we want come from our ego or our limited experience. Sometimes there's someone or something better available for us, so stay open to all forms of abundance. Let your affirmations include this phrase when it's appropriate. Example, I'm enjoying living in my beautiful beachfront villa on the coast of Maui or somewhere better. All right? So that was 9 ways to craft affirmations. What I'll do now is tell you 5 different ways to use affirmations. Write these down as well, because even when we get off the call, it's best to do them in the morning. I try to catch us really early in the morning when you're still drowsy and when your brain is in that natural alpha state that occurs naturally when you're drowsy, right? But let's be honest. We've got a lot of downtime during the day. I'll get to it in a minute, but there are definitely other times that you may just want to do your affirmation. Why not? Number 1, review your affirmations 1 to 3 times a day. The best times are first thing in the morning or last thing at night when you're getting drowsy. So review your affirmations 1 to 3 times a day. Number 2, if appropriate, read each affirmation out loud. Now, we do it even when it's not appropriate. I've led the affirmation calls from inside of jets, inside hotels, out in parking lots. Wherever you are at 7:30 is where you are, baby. What you gonna do? So appropriate means something different to everybody, doesn't it? Number 3, close your eyes and visualize yourself as the affirmation describes. See it as if you were looking out at the scene from inside of yourself. In other words, don't see yourself standing out there in the scene. See the scene as if you were actually living it. Or, this is still number 3, look yourself directly in the pupil. Stare in the mirror straight into your subconscious mind. They say the eyes are the windows to the soul. Claude Bristol, who wrote an amazing book on belief. It's not our book of the week, but it's an amazing book by Claude Bristol, CLAUDE, wrote an insanely good book on belief. If you just Google the word belief in Claude Bristol, it'll come up. I forget if it's the magic of believing or the power of belief, one of those, but it says belief in it. If you Google it, it'll show up. He talks about how researchers have found that you can even sober yourself up by staring in your eye and repeating, I am sober, I am sober, I am sober, I am together, I am balanced, I am powerful, let's go. Number 4, hear any sounds you might hear when you successfully achieve what the affirmation is describing. The sound of the surf, the roar of the crowd, the playing of the national anthem. Include other important people
that are in your life, congratulating you, telling you how pleased they are with your success, etc. Number 5, feel the feelings that you'll feel when you achieve it. The stronger the feelings, the more powerful the process. The stronger the feelings, the more powerful the process. The stronger the feelings, the more powerful the process. If you have difficulty creating the feelings, you can affirm, I'm enjoying easily creating powerful feelings in my affirmation. Number 6, repetition. Say your affirmation again, and then repeat this process with the next affirmation. So I hope that helped. Let's go ahead because we don't have a lot of time. Let's get to the vision board stuff that you guys are here for. So what is visualization? What is a vision board? Why is it so powerful? 3 reasons that a vision board is insane. 3 reasons visualization is one of the superpowers of your brain, right? We got 6 faculties of the mind: will, intuition, perception, reason, memory, and my favorite, imagination. There are 3 reasons. Hopefully you guys have your pen and pad by now. If you haven't been taking notes, this is a great time to start. If you have been taking notes, it's a great time to start. First of all, one of my favorite people in the world, Nobel Peace Prize winner Albert Einstein, called imagination the preview of life's coming attractions. That's all it is. Everything that happens everything you hold in your hand, it once happened in your mind. It's just the way it goes. Even if it was a split second before that. But you wouldn't have been able to catch it. You wouldn't have been able to pick it up. But even more than that, if you think about it, you'll bring it about. Number 1, visualization activates the creative powers of your subconscious mind. Number 2, the second way that visualization and vision boards accelerate the achievement of any success you want. Number 2, visualization focuses your brain by programming its reticular activation system. You guys realize that your subconscious mind is constantly taking in information. This is called a ceiling. This is called a car. This is called a sky. This is called blue. This is called water. This is called wet. Don't forget to blink. Oh, your heartbeat has to beat X amount of times a minute, right? Your subconscious mind is doing all of that. You would go insane if you didn't have this filter system that only brings into your subconscious mind, that only brings out of your subconscious mind, out of all of these things the subconscious is observing. Your reticular activation system acts as a filter to only bring to your conscious mind the things that matter to you, a.k.a. things that will bring you pain or things that will bring you gain, as you know, as your limited experience has shown you so far. So, the RAS can be activated to notice these available resources that were always there, but previously you were oblivious to them. Number 3, visualization magnetizes and attracts to you the people, the resources, and the opportunities that you need to achieve your master plan, your definite chief aim. When you perform any task in real life, researchers have found your brain uses the same identical processes it would use if you were only vividly visualizing that activity. Again, scientists have discovered that your brain can't tell the difference between memory, imagination, and experience. This principle also applies to learning anything new. Harvard University researchers found students who visualized in advance performed tasks with nearly 100% accuracy. The students who didn't performed at about 55%. Visualization simply makes the brain achieve more. And though none of us were ever taught this in school, sports psychologists and peak performance professionals, a.k.a. athletes, have been popularizing the power of visualization since the 80s. Almost every Olympic athlete you know, almost every pro athlete you know, I don't care if you're talking hockey or football or baseball or basketball, they all employ the power of visualization. Jack Nicklaus is a legendary golfer. He has more than like 100 tournament victories over, $7 million in winnings. This guy is a legend. Obviously, he doesn't golf anymore, but I remember he once said, I never hit a shot, not even in practice, without having a very sharp, in-focus picture of it in my head. It's like a color movie. First, I see where I wanted to finish, nice and white and sitting high on a bright green grass. Then the scene quickly changes, and I see the ball going there. Its path, its trajectory, its shape, even its behavior on the landing. Then there's sort of a fade out, and the next scene shows me making the kind of swing that will turn those previous images into reality. Now think about that. Think about that. This is one of the best to ever do it. How are he going to be the best? And he's doing it, and you aren't even doing it. What you got to understand is that when you visualize your goals as already complete each day, it creates a conflict in your subconscious mind between what you're visualizing and what you currently have. Your subconscious mind is going to try to resolve that conflict by turning your current reality into the new, more exciting vision. This conflict, when intensified over time through constant visualization, causes three things to happen. One, it programs your brain's reticular activation system. There's that word again. Google it. Have fun. It'll start letting into your awareness anything that will help achieve your goals because it can't stand the conflict. It's trying to make everything match up with what you keep visualizing because it can't tell the difference between memory, imagination, and experience. Two, it activates your subconscious mind to create solutions for getting the goals you want. You'll start waking up in the morning with new ideas. You'll have ideas while you're in the shower. Take it from me. I got a pen and a pad right outside my shower. You know, the paper's wet, whatever. Listen. When they come to me, you got to capture them because the brain is designed to create ideas. It's not designed to store ideas. You'll be taking a walk. You'll be driving. New ideas will just come to you because the weak slow down. The warrior calms down. Number three, it creates new levels of motivation, y'all. You'll start to notice you're unexpectedly doing things to take you to your goal. All of a sudden, you're raising your hand in class. All of a sudden, you're volunteering to take on new assignments and heavier responsibilities. All of a sudden, you're speaking up in staff meetings. All of a sudden, you're talking about your business because you love it. All of a sudden, you're asking more directly for what you want. All of a sudden, you're saving money for the things that you desire. All of a sudden, you're paying down credit card debt. You're getting rid of this $15,000 that most families have as a debt load without even talking about student loans. All of a sudden, you're taking more risks in your personal life because you're realizing either you're going to take a risk or you're going to keep working for somebody that did. Let's take a closer look at how reticular activation system works before we get into the meat, right? At any time, there's about 8 billion bits of information streaming into your brain. Most of this you can't even attend to, nor do you care to, nor do you need to. So your brain's RAS filters most of it out, letting into your awareness only those signals that can help you survive and achieve your most important goals. But how does it know what to let in and what to filter out? Millionaires. It lets in anything that will help you achieve the goals you've set. But how does your brain know which thoughts you're serious about? That's where repetition comes in. That's why I tell you how to be on a call every single morning. Don't skip a day or you're undoing crazy amounts of momentum. Whenever you have dead time, keep saying the affirmations to yourself. Keep visualizing that car. Keep visualizing that yacht, that helicopter. Keep visualizing that trophy. Because it lets your subconscious know this one you're serious about. You've got to constantly and consistently visualize and affirm this stuff. It lets in anything that matches your beliefs and images about yourself, others, and the world. This is why people that think they can't. This is also why people that know they can do it. When you give your brain a specific, colorful, and vividly compelling picture to manifest, it's going to seek out and capture all the information necessary to bring it into reality. It is magic. It's not really magic, but like Mr. Clark says, one of my favorite mentors, any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. Your mind is just that sufficiently advanced technology. Listen to me now, believe me later on. If you give your mind a $10,000 problem, it'll come up with a $10,000 solution. If you give your mind $1 million problem, it'll come up with $1 million solution. If you give it pictures of a beautiful home, an adoring mate, an exciting career, exotic vacations, it'll go to work instantly on achieving all that. By contrast, if you're constantly feeding it negative, fearful, and anxious pictures, guess what? That's what you're going to get. Negativity, fear, and anxious pictures. So then, what is the process for visualizing this stuff? What is the process for visualizing this stuff? It's really simple. All you have to do is close your eyes and see it as already done. If one of your objectives is to own some nice house on a lake, close your eyes and see yourself walking through the house. Fill in the details. What does the exterior look like? How is it landscaped? What kind of view does it have? What does the living room, the kitchen, the bedroom, the dining room, the family room, the den look like? Nobody can force you to think like a midget. Nobody can force you to think like a giant either. But you got to do this each morning, each night. You don't have to do nothing. You know what I mean? But these are suggestions. This whole process, you can be done in 10, 15 minutes. Depends on how many goals you have. But if you meditate, if you do your visualization right after you finish meditating, in that deepened state, whether it's from meditation or whether it's from drowsy because you just woke up, it's going to heighten the impact of your visualizations. And I know we keep on talking about emotion, but let me ask you a question. Where were you when the World Trade Center collapsed September 11, 2001? Where were you? I don't care if you were a little kid. I guarantee you remember where you were when you got that call. And your mama called you and said, I just want to say I love you. Or you saw it on the news. You can remember the house you were in. You can remember who was around you at the time. You can remember if you were looking at it on a TV or hearing about it on the radio. Why? Because your brain is going to remember it in great detail because it's attached to emotion. Intense emotion stimulates the growth of these additional dendrites on your neurons. Not to get all deep, right? But, you know, this is why they always say, you know, this is why I refer to what I do as entrepreneurology. It's entrepreneur mindset mixed with neurology. Your neurons actually grow or die according to what you're feeding them. Well, these intense emotions actually stimulate the growth of these additional spiny protuberances that are found on the dendrites of your brain neurons. This ultimately creates more neural connections, and therefore it locks in the memory much more solidly. You don't care about none of that. I'm just making a point that the more emotion you attach, the more you add, you know, inspiring music or real life smells or deeply felt passion, or some of us like to loudly shout our affirmations, don't we? With exaggerated enthusiasm, right? Because the more passion, the more excitement, and the more energy you can muster, the more powerful the ultimate result is going to be. Olympic gold medalist Peter Vidmar, Michael Phelps, the most decorated Olympic athlete of all time, they all use visualization. But let's talk about Peter. He talks about in his successful pursuit of the gold, right? There's an article that you can Google. Maybe I'll send it out through Dear Millionaire. It's a great time. If you haven't enrolled in Dear Millionaire, text message @millmind, that's the @ symbol, MILLMIND, short for millionaire minded. Because we're all millionaire minded on this call, nothing less. Maybe billionaire minded. Somebody on the affirmation call the other day said, we are all worth $122 trillion. I'm like, man, he sounds like Dr. Evil from them Austin Powers joints, but I digress. @millmind to the number 81010. It'll write you back, ask for your name, boom, you're enrolled. Okay, but let's continue. This is how he described it. To keep us focused on our Olympic goal, we began ending our workouts by visualizing our dream. We visualized ourselves actually competing in the Olympics and achieving our dream by practicing what we thought would be the ultimate gymnastics scenario. I'd say, okay, Tim, let's imagine it's the men's gymnastics team finals of the Olympic Games. The United States is on its last event of the night, which just happens to be the high bar. The last two guys up for the United States are Tim Daggett and Peter Vidmar. The team is neck and neck with the People's Republic of China because they were the reigning world champions. And we have to perform our routine perfectly to win the Olympic team gold medal. At that point, we'd each be thinking, yeah, right, we're never going to be neck and neck with those guys. They are insanely good. They were number one at the Budapest World Championships. Our team didn't even win a medal. It's never going to happen. But what if it did happen? Millionaires, I'm asking you, what if it did happen? What if this stuff is real? You already know how it works if it ain't. You already know how it works if you don't try it. What if it works? How would it feel? So we'd close our eyes, and in this empty gym at the end of a long day, we'd visualize an arena in the Olympics with 13,000 people in the seats, another 200 million watching live on television, and then we'd practice our routine. First, I'd be the announcer. I'd cup my hands around my mouth and say, next up, from the United States of America, Tim Daggett. Then Tim would go through his routine as if it were the real thing. Then Tim would go over to the corner of the gym, cup his hands around his mouth, and in his best announcer voice say, next up, from the United States of America, Peter Vidmar. Then it was my turn. In my mind, I had one chance to perfectly perform my routine in order for our team to win the medal. If I didn't, we'd lose. Tim would shout out green light. I'd look at the superior judge, who was usually our coach. I'd raise my hand, and he'd raise his right back. Then I'd turn, face the bar, grab hold, and begin my routine. Well, a funny thing happened on July 31st, 1984. It was the Olympic Games, and this gives me chill bumps. In the Olympic Games, men's gymnastics team finals in Pauley Pavilion on the UCLA campus, 13,000 seats are filled, television audience in excess of 200 million around the world tuned in. The United States is on its last event of the night at the high bar. The last two guys up for the United States just happened to be Tim Daggett and Peter Vidmar. And just as we visualized, our team was neck and neck with, you guessed it, the People's Republic of China. We had to perform our high bar routines perfectly to win the gold medal. I looked at my coach, my same coach for the last 12 years, as focused as ever. He simply said, okay, Peter, let's go. You know what to do. You've done it 1,000 times, just like every day back in the gym. Let's do it one more time, and let's go home. You're ready. And he was right. I planned for this moment and visualized it hundreds of times. I was prepared to perform my routine rather than seeing myself actually standing in the Olympic arena with the 13,000 people in the stands and 200 million plus people watching on TV. In my mind, I'm back in the gym at the end of the day with only two people there. So when the announcer says, from the United States of America, Peter Vidmar, I imagined it was my buddy Tim. When the green light came on, I imagined it was Tim shouting green light. And when I raised my hand towards the judge, I pretended it was my coach, just like I did after hundreds of workouts. We're alone in there. Everybody's gone home because they don't want it as bad as I do. I just visualized I was back in the gym. I turned, I faced the bar, I jumped up, I grabbed it, I began the same routine I had visualized and practiced day after day in the gym. I was in memory mode, going yet again where I'd gone hundreds of times. I quickly made it past a risky double release move that had harpooned my chances at the World Championship. I moved smoothly through the rest of my routine. I landed a solid dismount where I anxiously waited for my score from the judges when a deep voice sends the announcement through the loudspeaker. The score for Peter Vidmar is 9.95. I had done it. The crowd cheered loudly as my teammates and I celebrated our victory. 30 minutes later, we're standing on the Olympic medal platform in the Olympic arena with 13,000 people in the stands and 200 million watching on television. while the gold is draped around our necks. We stood there proudly wearing our medals, anthem playing, flag raised, the exact moment we had visualized and practiced hundreds of times in the gym. Only this time it was for real.
Millionaires, you have this power too.
Millionaires, you have this power too. When NASA was working on putting a man on the moon, they had a huge picture of the moon covering the whole wall from floor to ceiling. Everybody was clear on the goal, and they reached that goal 2 years ahead of schedule. I need you to understand that 1 hour of visualization is worth 7 hours of physical effort. Again, neurologists and researchers have documented that 1 hour of visualization is worth 7 hours of physical effort. There's a story in a secret, right? There's a story in a secret where a guy named John Assaraf creates a vision board, puts it up on the wall. Whenever he saw some material thing he wanted or a trip he wanted to take, he'd get a photo, glue it to the board, then he'd see himself enjoying it already. Well, in May 2000, he just moved into his house in Southern Cali. He's sitting in his office at 7:30 a.m. That time sounds familiar to a lot of the millionaires on the call. His 5-year-old son comes in and sits on a couple boxes that had been in storage. He asked his father what's in the box. This is a famous story from the movie The Secret. If you haven't seen The Secret, get it tonight. Do yourself a favor. Do your family a favor. He pulls out the board. He sees all kinds of pictures of Mercedes sports cars, watches, all of which he had acquired by then or begun to acquire. But as he pulled out the second board, he just broke down in tears. On that board was a picture of the house he had just bought and was living in. Not a house like it, but the house. The 7,000 square foot house sitting on 6 acres of spectacular views with a 3,000 square foot guest house, office complex, tennis court, 320 orange trees, the very home that he had cut out of Dream Homes magazine 4 years earlier.
All I'm trying to say with these stories is that visualization works. Vision boards work. Whether you perform it or just vividly visualize it, I want you to understand that these things work like magic. Everybody always says, we're wizards as entrepreneurs, right? But it's true. Because wizards, even when they would say abracadabra, it literally just means I create as I speak. So what I wanted to do was give you guys some quick tips on how to use your vision board. Write these down. Some of them are common sense.
Some may add some texture to your techniques. A lot of them are similar to the rules for affirmations because using your mind is using your mind. Using your 6 faculties is using your 6 faculties. Using your imagination is using your imagination. If you take it serious, life is going to take you serious. Your subconscious mind is going to take you serious. Here we go. 1, look at your vision board often and feel the inspiration it provides. 2, hold it in your hands and really internalize the future it represents. 3, read your affirmations and inspirational words aloud as you're looking at the vision board. 4, see yourself living in that manner. 5, feel yourself in the future you have designed. 6, believe it is already yours. 7, be grateful for the good that is already present in your life. 8, acknowledge any goals you've already achieved. 9, acknowledge the changes you have seen and felt. 10, acknowledge the presence of God in your life. Next, acknowledge the law of attraction at work in your life. Same thing. And lastly, look at it just before going to bed and first thing upon rising. That does it for episode number 85 of Obsessed with Success. We're going to open it up for 4 minutes for any questions anybody has, because some of you guys don't have Periscope. But at 6 o'clock sharp, we're ending this thing. We're ending the recording, because I don't want to make people have to listen to a 2-hour recording. But on Periscope, I'm at Haziq, Haziq. I'm going to show you guys my vision board. I'll show you how dead serious this thing is to me. I'm going to show you guys that I'm not just some weirdo. I am weird, but it's because normal people are losers. I will admit that I am a little bit in my own zone. In my own zone. In my own, right? But I suggest it for you as well, because they can say we're a cult all they want, but they're a cult too. And my favorite way to describe it is if an alien came to town and saw all these fools get off work for a job that is not theirs, that they can't pass down to their kids, for some money that's just paying for the house they live in that they never get to be in, a car that they drive just to get to work, clothes that they wear just to look good at work at this job that's not theirs, that they're doing all to make somebody else's dream come true. Then they come home and sit down and look at a box with a bunch of pictures showing on it to pacify them and medicate them. I would say that's a cult. No thanks. I'd rather be in a cult that prizes becoming successful before I'm in a cult that prizes admiring the successful. Who has a question, any feedback,
Hello?
any criticism? Star 6. Yes. Yes.
Sorry. I was just quick to ask the question because I know somebody else is wanting to. I'm sorry. Hello?
Yes, ma'am. What is your name?
Yes.
Where are you from? What's the question?
Oh, hi. My name is Ahime Sato. I'm from the Bronx, New York. So I have 2 questions. My first question is, can you please, my second question is, can you please repeat the tips on how to do the vision board? It was kind of fast, but before you get to doing that, can you, I have something to say about the vision board. I did the vision board last New Year's. I created a whole vision board of what I wanted my life to be, and I do agree it does work. Now, my question to you is this. I know in tips on how to use your vision board, you said look at your vision board often. Now, it's posted in my room, and I have a glance at it, but I don't necessarily stare at it every day. Now, I want a particular goal. What I usually do is, because I know I'm, like, always with my phone, I put the picture as, like, my screensaver on my background. Now, is that another way to go about it? Is it good to put it on your phone, or is it limiting myself?
Absolutely. No. There's certain things in low technology is best, like pen and paper. I'm a huge fan of pen and paper when I'm taking notes rather than typing stuff in my phone, because this is what the wizards used to do. There was a time reading and writing was considered magic, because people could not understand how you could reproduce the exact thoughts that somebody else had just from looking at some symbols on a wall or some symbols on some papyrus, etc. This is my point. Now you got technology. My whole Instagram is a big vision board. If you don't have my Instagram, it's at Haziq Ali. There's a little bit of things like in there, but if you go to my Instagram, that's why I put it like that. I put a bunch of captions to open up your mind to different forms of abundance and different forms of awareness. But most of my Instagram is just a big vision board. Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing is, as for the tips that I gave that I went kind of fast, join Dear Millionaire, millionaires. I'm gonna say it slow so you can write it down. This is how you enroll, because I will send out the recording of this call through Dear Millionaire. Okay, so text message. @millmind. It's the @ symbol, just like a Twitter address or an Instagram address. The @ symbol or a Periscope address. The @ symbol, MILLMIND. Again, that's MILLMIND. The @ symbol and then MILLMIND. And then you're going to text message that message to the number 81010. 81010. You text message @millmind to the number 81010. It'll ask you what your name is. Just like that, you're enrolled. I hope that helps, Bronx, New York. We're going to take 2 more before we get out of here.
Hello?
Hey, Haziq.
Yes.
She can go first.
Okay, let's hurry, y'all.
Okay, I'm going to be fast. I know you're trying to get out of here. Is your vision board, I didn't get the tips, but she had asked for them too, so I did want to know if you could rewind the call. But my second question is, you say that you look at your vision board a lot. Is your vision board small, like small enough that you travel with it?
You're about to see my vision board on Periscope. Are you on Periscope?
I don't have Periscope, and I'm missing out, I know. But I don't have Periscope, and I can't fit another thing on my phone. I speak to you sometimes through Facebook. Do you have pictures of it?
Yeah, I might take a picture and post it and whatnot. I might do that. But it's so funny. There's one picture I used to have as my profile pic. People that have been with me for over a year, I just now switched up my profile pic because I used to keep my profile pic, this picture of me sitting on this elephant out in India, and it was just like a sort of a reminder to me of the power of my subconscious mind. But I'll tell that story when we get to Periscope. The point that I'm making is that you can make it small, you can make it big, you can make a scrapbook, you can do a flip book on your phone, you can have a certain folder in your phone of pictures that are all your vision board pictures. You can do anything you want as long as you are jabbing these pictures into your subconscious mind. It literally doesn't matter because whatever you give your mind enough, listen, you can, I don't care if the picture is the size of a thumbnail. If you can visualize yourself in that picture, when you're looking at that beach, you feel the sand between your toes. When you're looking out over that balcony of that house, you hear the waves crashing onto the shore. You, my friend, are using your imagination. And the more crystal and vividly clear you can make it, the more your brain has to make it true. It has to absolve this conflict. It has no choice. And your brain can't tell that it can do a lot of things your brain can do. Your mind is amazing. And I keep using brain and mind interchangeably, even though they are different. My point is that, because just for the record, the brain is the hardware, the mind is the software. But here we go. It doesn't matter if you are using memory, imagination, or an experience. Your mind is using the exact same processes to provide you with the sensory input. It is your mind that's telling you, after all, that fire is hot. It is your mind, after all, that's telling you you're in danger. Why do you think you can watch a scary movie and your heart starts beating? It is all the same thing. Okay, who else? Anybody else got anything before we get out of here?
Haziq, yeah, Pastor Clarence Thomas, Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay.
Man, listen, that vision board training was absolutely phenomenal. You're definitely in the spirit of what God is doing in the season, man, because my apostle was just teaching on vision the past 2 Sundays, and the next lesson he's teaching is on creating your vision board. And then you brought the training on the vision board. It's like, man, this is our time. I'm just encouraging everybody, capitalize on what's happening on this movement. I don't know if it's ever going to happen again, but I know it's happening right now. And for those of us that do, we will get to our goals because it's already happened. We're just walking out what's already done. So thank you for the training. I'm definitely going to be listening to that recording over and over again. I'm going to have the bomb vision board up on my wall.
I love it. Are you on the affirmation calls in the mornings?
Yes, I am. I've given like 2 testimonies so far.
Okay, I love it. I love it. Everybody who doesn't know, we do the affirmation calls every morning, 7:30 a.m., 7:25 a.m. Excuse me. On the weekends, we do them 8:55 a.m. Be there and change your life. Because if you think that you get emotion from yelling it by yourself, you cannot understand what it feels like to yell it in unison with hundreds of your closest friends. That attaches emotion, and that's why we do it that way. Again, I'm using neurology. I'm using all the best practices that I've learned from all the best teachers that I could find, and I'm just sharing it with you guys. And so I really appreciate you guys for being here. This is episode number 85, and every Wednesday we're right here, 5:15 p.m. Eastern, obsessed with success. And remember, y'all, either your mind is going to expand to match your goals, or your goals will shrink to match that mind. See me on Periscope at Haziq in about 10 minutes. We're going to start the Periscope thing at exactly 6:15. Periscope address is at Haziq. If you can't remember that, then go to my Instagram, and it's the last post I put up at Haziq. I'm warning you, if you're getting on Periscope, use the hearts, because I'm not going to show my vision board until we get them hearts up. Y'all got me looking crazy because people will think I'm lame if I don't have hearts. It's crazy world. What you going to do? All right, love y'all. See y'all in a minute.